Serious, what are the best security tips for young girls living out of home? I've been living as a somewhat run-down area in a fairly scummy city for the past 2 years, all on my own. My first tip would be to scout out your neighbors and befriend them if they seem friendly. You don't need to go out and get a beer with them. Just get them on your good side. A simple wave when you see them is all it can take. They can look out for you, obviously. If they look for feel like trouble, skip this part. Trust your gut instincts. Get good locks and a latch for your door. Maybe even motion sensing lights. Luckily, my place came with them. Window bars may not be desired or available, but buying privacy film to go over your windows can help a lot. It won't block out your view either. It just looks like sunglasses. You can find them in any hardware store. But most of all, always be aware of your surroundings and keep your phone handy. You might even want to get a small canister of pepper spray. I walk around my school campus with one since one of my classes ended at night and the parking lot was far. My friend said that she puts out these big dirty work boots by her door every day so someone would think there is a large man living inside and have second thoughts, lol. I'm not sure if someone's mentioned this yet, but replace all the screws in your door frame. I lived in a super sketch apartment and my dad replaced all the screws holding the lock plates in the door and frame. Most apartments will have screws only going an inch deep, so if someone tries to kick or pry your door open it's easy to bust out. Get some 4-inch screws and use those to secure your frame. It's way harder for people to bust in with that. I hope this makes sense. Not sure how else to explain it. Basically, the longer the screw the more effort it will take to get in. It will also be louder. Replace screws that secure doors and windows with larger ones, because it acts as your last line of defense. Trust your gut. If you get a feeling of something being off, trust that feeling and find assistance immediately. Do not just assume that it's your mind playing tricks. We have very good instincts that date back to caveman times in sensing when we are in danger. Better to look silly and find someone to help you than be in actual danger. My instincts have saved me 2 times. Once I was walking home from a late night study session and I felt something in my gut. I saw a pair of girls walking ahead and said, "Hey friends, wait up." They turned around and saw a guy following me and assumed I needed help. They acted like we were friends and stopped to talk to me. The guy passed us and glared at us. Later that night a girl got attacked on campus and the description matched the guy that passed us. The second time I was actually in a bar full of people and I got this creepy vibe from a dude. It was getting late and my friends wanted to stay. I asked a bouncer to walk me to my car. He did, and as I pulled out of the parking lot the guy was standing there in the entrance and started to run at my car and banging on it saying he needed to talk to me. And why did I feel so scared of him that I needed a bouncer to walk me to my car? I floored it and left. Always trust that hinky feeling. There are thousands of stories online of women who had a bad gut feeling about something but ignored it and got assaulted. Don't worry about being nice. Don't worry that you're being a bee or rude. If your gut says something's wrong you should listen to it. If it turns out you were wrong, then it's a good story and the guy should understand. Walk with confidence. There was a study a while back that studied the gaits of women who had and had not been attacked. The difference was, the women most likely to be deemed a target, whether or not they were ever attacked, had meek, feeble, untimed, and sporadic steps, with arms that didn't swing in time with their step, while the women least likely to deemed a target had long, purposeful, timed steps, and they swung their arms in time with their steps. Apparently, attackers are wary of getting into a situation with a strong, confident-looking woman, and were much more likely to attack someone they saw as meek and feeble. Thanks for all of the upvotes, ladies and gents. This is one of my highest rated comments, and it's about a way to prevent a violent attack. Hopefully, this comment will help keep some of you folks safe and confident. Don't make crappy friends. Seriously, here in Australia that's all there is to it. You're much more likely to be raped, abused by someone you know, so don't make crappy friends. I would like to suggest reading The Gift of Fear. It's a wonderful book that will help you be more aware. It helped me feel more safe, and I'm man. Fire extinguisher in the kitchen. Fire extinguisher in the car. And not just for fire safety. A previous job I had included a lot of personal safety training. Fire extinguishers are excellent for stopping fires. They can also be aimed at an assailant's face. If the spray doesn't hurt or kill them, it'll blind them long enough to get out, get the phone, or get them on the ground with a swing of the extinguisher. Jesus man, you think women are pretty equal and safe in society, and then you read their stories and threads like this one. Aziz Ansari does a good job pointing this out in his book. But seriously, ask almost any woman if they've ever been followed or in an unsafe situation like men are listed above. I guarantee you that 3/4 will have a story to tell, even if it didn't end in tragedy. I am a very small girl who lived in a somewhat sketchy neighborhood in NYC several years ago. My number one rule was to always walk like I knew what the heck I was doing. Head up, shoulders back, be face on. If you're slumped over and look scared, you become a target. Also, always have a light on in your place. I always left my place, if I knew I'd be back after dark, with one light on. It's helpful if it looks like someone is home. And don't walk around with your face in your phone. Always know what's going on around you, as best as you can. Take routes with a decent amount of foot traffic. If you feel unsafe, dip into the pizza joint or the office that's still open and tell them you're just standing there because you feel freaked out. I did that a couple of times. Practice sprints and distance running. The best form of self-defense is running away. Very few people can run for any substantial amount of time. Get a dog. Doesn't have to be mean, but it does have to bark. It will bark anytime it hears a noise at the door. You will be seen walking it. Being outside with your dog in your neighborhood gives you more of an opportunity to meet and learn about your neighbors. And they tend to be lighter sleepers than most people, so they are more aware at night as well. You also get a fun buddy who always loves you, and an extra bonus of not looking as crazy when you talk to yourself, cause you can say you were talking to the dog. I would love to get a dog. I had one years ago and always felt so safe, even with it being a small one. Because exactly your point, they are light sleepers and bark at anything. When you are gone, leave a light or two on in addition to the TV or stereo. Make it seem as though someone is home. We have had a lot of robberies in our area lately. Most of them have been taking place during the work week in the middle of the afternoon. If you are walking with your headphones on, take them off a block or two before you get to your place, and don't have them on so loud that you cannot hear your surroundings. Glance over your shoulder before you enter your apartment. It may sound paranoid. It's not. I have a friend who was forced into her building. Apparently the guy had been casually following her, and when she got to her place he grabbed her as she was unlocking her door. Thankfully she escaped. It was really important to me to find a place that has two doors, both the front and back. Sometimes, apartments will only have one door because of the building structure. Obviously, this is also only useful if the doors are secure and can be locked with deadbolts. But having options for an exit if someone bad entered, or even if there was a fire or something, is super important to me as a younger female living alone. Certainly something I haven't thought about. Thanks for your point. We are looking for an apartment or small unit now, so a second door will now be on our priority list. I can't remember, but I want to say the FBI trains its female agents this: don't believe a word on self-defense versus a man has shown in TV shows. The best option is always to turn and run. They are more often bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, even the out of shape ones. Even the smaller ones. No, it's not sexist. To put it in perspective, no man would fight hand-to-hand combat versus a gorilla, because even if you have technique down, the gorilla has a huge brute force advantage. I know this advice sounds dumb and really basic, but you'd be surprised how many people get sucked into watching TV shows believing that if they're technically gifted enough they could take down a guy. Of course there will be the Ronda Rousey style exceptions, but follow the above as a general rule. Legit best comment here. South African here, so my perspective might be a bit paranoid for you. However, I've not only lost loved ones to crime, I've also had several intrusion incidents in the last few years alone, never mind earlier in life. So use what you want from my advice. Personal security is best achieved through a layered approach. What goes into each layer will depend on your risk appetite combined with the degree of perceived risk. Firstly, the outermost layer is the general environment you move around in, life in general, your neighborhood, commute, etc. Apart from moving somewhere else, this layer cannot be secured beyond the fostering of good security conscious habits. This includes paying attention to what's happening around you, who might be following you, who looks dodgy, etc. Don't walk home drunk. Don't walk browsing your phone. Don't show people that you have things of value that could be stolen. Many females make the mistake of throwing their keys into a bag or purse and then needing to search through the entire thing when they need the key. Try to have your keys ready and in your hand as you approach your door. This allows you to get in quickly and efficiently. It can also serve as a weapon to stab at an eye or scratch a face if you need to. The most important habit of all is getting into the what will I do in situation X mode. Think up contingency plans and then rehearse exactly what you'll do in your mind. Do this often enough and you'll end up reacting instantly with the right response when needed. So basically the first layer is good security awareness habits, coupled with cultivating specific responses. If you live in a dangerous part of town, going for self-defense lessons, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Krav Maga, or similar system that doesn't frick around is highly recommended. It'll give you more confidence and a security-orientated mindset, which in itself makes you less of a target. Next layer is the outer perimeter of your home. This might include things like having a security outer door, or have some form of alarm on the windows, etc. The point of this layer is to make sure you cannot be caught by a sneak attack. You want to hear them coming. You also want to look like less of an easy target than your neighbors. Finally, there's the inner layer. This is for where you sleep. I have an entire security cocoon around the sleeping area at home. This includes serious burglar proofing on all windows and a security door with a slam lock inside the house separating the sleeping area from the rest. At night I lock us in and turn on a motion sensing alarm in the rest of the house. Once again, habit is your friend here. Store the number of someone you can call in an emergency as a fast dial number in your phone and ensure the phone is always charged and next to your bed where you can get your hand on it instantly. Always store your keys in the same place, etc. When my husband isn't home, I put the chain and deadbolt on my door the second I get inside. Doesn't matter if I'm going out again later or if I'm going to be awake for a few more hours. My first move is to lock up. I also carry my cell phone into every room with me. The last thing I would want is to be stuck without it if someone breaks in and I'm forced to hide or lock myself in a room for protection. We also have a big dog. He's a mushy cuddle monster, but he looks pretty scary before you figure that out. He's also super protective of me, to the point where he would growl if my husband came home late and didn't start talking the second he got in. He's not letting any stranger near his mom if he can help it. Don't let strangers know where you live. If you meet a cute guy, don't rush to bring him home. If somebody asks you where you live, just give them the part of town, or lie. I also highly recommend the advice from Usolst and UJJ 3570. Yeah, you can never be too careful. Do you take public transport? Pick stops that are well lit or and populated. When you get off at your stop, don't stand up and wait at the door. Someone could be eyeing you. Don't even look like you're getting off and then jump off at the last seconds. You'll get better over time. Anyone who suddenly jumps off with you is very suspicious. Also tell the bus driver if you do notice someone eyeing you. Have someone you can call at any time. This might be a parent, friend, whoever. Just make sure you can always contact this person if you need help. Don't walk like you're scared. It sounds really dumb, but if you walk like you know where you're going and no one is gonna stop you, you give off this vibe that makes you less of a target for being a victim of assault. My university actually recorded me walking home from a mixer last semester and uses it in their awareness seminars for girls as an example of how to walk if you happen to be alone at night. If someone does approach you, make eye contact, learn their name and use it. If something were to happen, you can use this as a defense by making an attack or attempted attack personal. Honestly, don't act like a pansy about anything. If you're not a damsel, how can you be in distress? I walk like I'm pee off. It's also good for avoiding those annoying salespeople in the mall that try to put their smelly lotion all over you. I know this walks the fine line of victim blaming that everyone, including myself, would love to avoid. Do not get too drunk with people you do not completely trust. In college, I felt like most of the women I got close to had horror stories and every single one involved them drinking way too much and blacking out. I know it sucks. Women should not have to worry about this. They should be safe to drink as much as they want with whomever they want. But unfortunately there are awful people out there. Know that you don't have to open the door to anyone unless they can identify the company they come from and you are expecting a visit from someone from that company. My friend was very nearly raped by a random guy who rang her doorbell. When she opened the door he attacked her. Trust your gut. I recommend the excellent book A Gift of Fear by Gavin Becker. It helps you learn to trust in your life-saving feelings of this isn't right that you may get when someone is about to attack you. Women are socialized to be kind and not hurt others' feelings, and it can sometimes lead to us putting ourselves in harm's way and ignoring feelings that something is wrong. I was once asked by someone with a strange voice to pass toilet paper over the top of a bathroom stall in a gym changing room. I did it despite feeling uneasy because I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings. Turned out to be a crazed, very strong man in just his underwear who pinned me to the ground while asking me nonsensical questions. I only managed to get away unharmed because he promised to uncover my mouth if I promised not to scream by nodding. Then screamed. He easily could have raped me if he'd wanted to. Think about the physical security of places you enter. That gym had no security cameras and was down a long hall that led to outside with no entrance desk. College gym. Anyone could have, and did, come in. Be careful about drinking. It makes you a target for people who want to find an easy victim to hurt. I was carrying a drink in public and groped by a man. I don't drink in public anymore by myself. I was very scared by the look in his eyes. I am sure he would have killed me if he'd been able to. He wanted to get revenge on women for some reason and I happened to be the easiest target he saw that day. So walk like you have a purpose. Fake it if you have to. There have been studies on how American criminals choose their victims and a lot of them said they look for people who look lost. Think about how misogynistic people in your culture view women. Is the idea of she's asking for it if she wears a short skirt prevalent in your country? How about if she goes to a bar? She wants to have sex in the country I currently live in. It's if the girl looks shy and non-self-confident. She's a good target. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to change how you act, or that you couldn't get attacked by someone who doesn't share those views or is new to the country. But it's good to understand how other people might be thinking so you can be ready to defend yourself if necessary. I really wish I'd taken a self-defense class before all these things happened to me. I would recommend doing that. Female here who has lived alone for several years. If you can, get a dog as others have said, a gun, with proper training. Gun safety classes are a must. If you aren't comfortable with a gun, at least have a knife or ball bat handy. Bat method. Go for the knees, they are less likely to be able to grab it mid-swing. You can look online for window and door alarms if you can't afford a security system. They stick onto your doors and windows and go off if it is moved even slightly. These are great if you like to have your windows open for air. Leave your window open just enough to let in some air. 3-4 inches, 5 tops, and apply the alarms. If someone attempts to open the window any further, the alarm will sound. If you're able to have your windows open at the top rather than the bottom, this is better. Motion lights outside, especially in areas that access the house. Just remember animals can set them off too, so don't panic every time they come on. But be aware. Get to know your neighbors, not just in the sense that they know you and are aware that you are alone, but in the sense that you know them. Don't immediately share that you live alone with the people around you. Even Jeffrey Dahmer was someone's neighbor. If you're feeling extra jumpy, you can always put a chair up against the doors, kind of wedge under the knob. If you're a heavy sleeper, put something noisy on it. Always be aware of your surroundings. Always. At home or otherwise. Don't tell people in general that you live alone. I've pretended to have a husband or roommates before. When selling large items online that someone would need to come and pick up, have a friend, preferably male, over. It gives the illusion that he lives there. You can even call him honey for effect. Most importantly, just live. Don't live in fear all the time. Take precautions. Do little things to beef up your environment, but don't spend all your time worrying that someone may invade your home. It's a little scary in the beginning, but I actually prefer living alone. Good luck. with the bat. Swing with intent to harm. If someone is invading your home and you cannot get out, your goal is to hurt them badly enough that you can get away. A light swing because you're afraid of doing permanent damage or whatever is young to be useless. Swing with the intent of breaking bones. If you live alone, keep a pair of big, well-worn men's work boots next to your front door. It wouldn't work if somebody stuck around to monitor your house, but it might deter some potential home invaders since it looks like you're not alone. Never realized what a great goodwill buy that would be. I might just move my own Doc Martens there. I have big enough feet. Okay, so I made a list. People are probably going to think I'm paranoid, but I live in Brazil and these are the kinds of precautions we have to take here. Sorry for my English. I didn't double check the post. Here it goes. Look around when you're arriving home. If you see something weird, do not go inside. Wait until you feel safe. If someone is driving you home, ask for them to wait until you go inside. Don't tell people you live by yourself. Don't answer your landline at night. If it's someone who knows you, they'll call you on your cell phone. Leave a copy of your keys with someone you trust. If you forget your windows open, lose your keys or need help in any way, it's good to have someone to help. Don't give your address to strangers. Have a P.O. box or give a family member's address if it's necessary. Try not to share much about your routine on social networks. Buy blackouts, window bars or nets, safe locks, alarms etc. If you order pizza or buy something online, go get it in your building lobby if it has a doorman. Be friendly to neighbors who seem reliable. They can be helpful in all kinds of situations. Don't put yourself in a risky situation while you're alone, like climbing dangerous stairs or things that can get you hurt and unable to ask for help. Have an emergency kit, emergency lights, portable charger for your cell phone, maybe pepper spray. Create a habit of telling a friend or your parents when you get home. Have a code with them to use when something is wrong. Leave a light open or your TV on when you go out. You'll feel safer when you get home. If you need to call an electrician, cable guy or stuff like this, ask a friend or family member to come and stay with you during the visit. If that's not possible, tell a friend and ask them to call you in, say, 2 hours to check up on you. Only hire people who were referred to you by someone, and leave your door open while they're at your house. If your building doesn't have a doorman, have your keys in hand before getting close to the building so you don't have to stand there alone looking for them in your bag. Don't walk on the streets looking only at your phone. Notice the people around you. Look at them, their faces. Let them realize you noticed them. This can discourage kidnappers or rapists because they know you would recognize them later. When you move in, change all the locks. That's all I can think about for now. I hope this helps. Adapt to the reality of your country town. Don't take the same routes to get home. Switch things up and turn down different streets. Also be on the lookout for cars or people regularly leaving or showing up around you. It could be coincidence. It could be because they're trying to find out where you live. Don't be timid. Don't be afraid to forcefully refuse unwanted attention at unexpected situations. It's usually a trick and doesn't end well. Be forceful and not submissive just to be polite. Think typical New Yorkers attitude types. Very rude. It will work. You don't have to be polite always. Listen to your gut. If it tells you something is wrong, then something is wrong. Don't be afraid to run. Better wrong or embarrassed than assaulted or dead. I used to teach martial arts. These are my best first level self-defense that I would try to ingrain to the woman, and what I teach my daughter. Change up your routine from time to time and don't always park in the same spot. If you feel threatened, don't be afraid to call the police. The buddy system. 2-3 people is the best. If you can't buddy up, I guess you should dress like a guy. I read a story around here where a guy was walking down the street to him home and burly looking dude in a hood was walking towards him. The OP was a bit apprehensive at moving towards the person but didn't want to appear to be OP by the crossing the street. As the two met up, the other person turned out to be his 95 pounds female friend who was coming home from her supermarket job. She later told him that she wore an oversized hood to appear inconspicuous. I guess it worked for her. That was posted in a similar thread as this. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.